everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So today, as you see in the title and the thumbnail, we're going to unbox a truck. This is my simple trail build for UST this year. Kind of always wanted to do this. A little backstory with me, I'm a Land Rover kid. I grew up doing everything Land Rover. My dad restored Land Rovers growing up in this entire shop here. We went trailing. We've been everywhere in a Land Rover. We went up to Maine, went to the Canadian border and back, went to all the New England states in a Rover one summer, stopped by rallies, people's houses, every kind of stuff. He had a Land Rover rally every single year at this property. We went trail riding for like a whole weekend. People drove from all over the country with their Rovers, stuff like that. So I am a Rover kid. It's in my blood. I've never built a Land Rover crawler, trail truck, whatever. I've never done it. Not a lot of options out there. There's a bunch of D90s and D110s. That's not really what I want to build because that's not really what I grew up with. We had series trucks and we never had anything else other than series trucks, really. I mean, we worked on a couple of Discoveries and Range Rovers and things like that, but for the majority of what we owned as I was growing up as a kid, we had series trucks. We had an ambulance, 109s, which is the 5-door stuff. We had 88s, which is the short two-wheel drive or 2-door stuff. While I'm sitting here talking, you're probably seeing pictures pop up. I got a couple of pictures of me and stuff and things like that and things we did. This whole place was nothing but Rovers. Behind the shop here was about 16 different trucks that he had bought over the time frame of him finding them and buying them and whatever. The whole outside here was loaded with trucks as well. So it was about time for me to build a Rover of some sort. So MST released last year, they teased that they were coming out with a Discovery Gen 1. They call it the DC1. So that piqued my interest because I do like Discoveries. They're cool. They're neat trucks, especially the Gen 1s because they were used, when they came out, they took over for, in Campbell Trophy, they got used a lot. Those and the Range Rovers. The 2-door Range Rovers were the first ones that went out. Then they started doing the Discoveries and Range Rovers. Then eventually they started doing some D90s and 110s and things like that. Mainly, I think mainly 110s, but they had a couple of 90s out there as well. So that really piqued my interest in, to me, it's got a camel yellow paint for Lexan. This still is going to be a Lexan build. It's not going to be completely crazy hard body stuff. I just don't have the time to put into that between now and February because, as you know, that's coming up. It's like 2 months away. So I got other things going on. I got the big 6x6 project I still have to finish before then. So I have this, and I'm probably going to have one more truck to build between then as well. Hopefully this one will go pretty quick. But so what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this, show you all the different deals that's in this new MST DC1. This is a brand new, this is the CFX WS. It is different than the CFX, the CMX, and the CFX-W. It's a different set of axles. They call them an SA25 axle. They look kind of like a stock-ish axle, but it's all a one-piece housing instead of it being multi-piece like some of the other ones. All metal gears, you know the deal. MST makes some really good stuff. The way they build their transmission is a little funky, but it's going to work. This is going to be great for this particular body, for what I'm trying to do. This one's also narrow. I think it's just as narrow as like the CMX and the CFX. They had straight axles as well. They didn't have portals like the W. The W is wide like TRXs and SEX10 2s and stuff like that. This one's a little bit more narrow to fit this body, I think. It comes with 105 millimeter tall tires, which is like 3.9 inch tall tires. They're not quite as skinny as I want them to be because most of the Camel Trophy trucks had like really skinny tires on them. But it does come full ball bearings. It is a kit. You can build it. It does come with wipers, mirrors, snorkel, door handles, some body trim that goes down, like the moldings that go down the side of the doors, the roof rails. bumpers, sliders. It's a pretty decent kit for what it is. It's got light buckets for the front and the back. You know, MST, they put a lot of effort in their bodies. They do a really good job. They try to make sure it's legit in how they put it together. This thing says it's 224 millimeters wide. That looks like it's the tires though, not pin to pin, because the CMX and the CFX were 157 millimeters hole to hole on the axle, you know, pin to pin. The W is 194. So I'm assuming this is probably going to be somewhere right along the same area of 157. It may be wider. When I build it, I'll measure it and then we'll know. I couldn't find anything that said what it was. So that's it. So I'm going to bring you around. We're going to unbox this thing, show you all the stuff that comes with it, the manual, all the stuff like that. So we'll get to that. So hang tight. All right, so let's unbox this thing, or let's look at the box. DC1 CFX WS, that is the new stuff. It is a 313 millimeter wheelbase, so 12.3 like all the rest of them. It does come with glue-on tires, not a bead lock. It does come with metal links, so that's cool as well, which most everything does nowadays. There's not very much plastic linkage in kits anymore. I think a couple of G-made kits still have plastic links, but not many. All right, so let's pop this thing open. As you see, I have not opened it yet. I usually open them before I talk about them, but I have not done so. All right, first thing you see is a bag with the wheels and these funky foams that are really actually pretty cool. I mean, look at this. Now, all right, so I'm going to be a little picky here, but these wheels are a match for some Discoveries, but they are a 6 lug and not a 5 lug. Discovery was a 5 lug. And these tires are way skinnier than I thought they were going to be. All right, so maybe this will work. We'll see. Okay. So we'll take those out of the bag in just a minute. They package everything in here pretty well. Everything seems to be in this bag here. And it is. All right, so let's do that. And then we get our Lexan body, the Discovery, very, very almost spot on. The front end is just like a Gen 1. It's great, super nice. I like it. Super thick too. You know how MST does their bodies, they're very thick. You get a black fender liner. These are inner fender wells. They're already painted black. That's good, instead of having to actually having to paint them. I did not know that. I thought they were going to be clear. And then of course this is going to be a bag of just parts. You get some bearings, some sliders. The drive shafts are already put together. All you have to do is put the centers in. They also tell you in the manual to put them in phase. So you get a front bumper, a rear bumper with a receiver that I think actually works. Yes. Don't know how you would. Is there a hole? No hole. You'd have to drill a hole to put your bolt through there. Your light buckets. You get a muffler. That's the moldings that go in the door. You get wipers, mirrors, snorkel, the whole deal. All the good stuff. Then this is going to be links, shocks. Looks like you get some shock oil. They send you some 10 weight, it looks like, which probably 20 weight would be better, 25. Metal gears for the transmission. They are very beefy. They do hold up very well as well from what I understand. Simple chassis rails. Nothing too insane about those. All right, let's move this out the way. Body pack and masking for the body. And of course, that's the body pack that comes with everything you need to do up the body the way you need to do it. Then instruction manual, and of course stickers, because it comes with all that always. Stickers first, nothing special. Don't follow me, you won't make it. You know, real man inside. There are no roads where we were going. I do kind of like the wrench cross, that's cool. Instruction booklet is just a normal, like every other book. They do a pretty good job of explaining how to put everything together. And they also, like, you're going to use parts bags 7, 8, and 9, Well, it shows you what's in 7, 8, and 9 before you even get started. They do a pretty good job with that. Not too bad. So it won't be too bad. Let's look at these wheels. Or these tires, excuse me. These things are super narrow. They say they're 30. Let's see if I can get that where you can see it. 30 by 105. So they're 105 millimeters tall. They're 30 millimeters wide, which seems small. Yeah, they're about 30 millimeters wide. So I don't know how. I'm assuming once you put the wheel on it and the foam in it, it changes the width, I would imagine. I would not imagine that you can see how much wider that is, so it's gonna bulge it a little bit. Let's do one and see. All right, so I put I didn't glue it or anything, and I don't think I put it. Yeah, that's in there right. Okay, it still keeps it pretty narrow. I mean, that's still. I mean, even with the foam in it. I mean, dude, listen. So this foam is not a normal crawler foam you get from somebody. It is a very like normal foam you see in. You can hear it. You know, it doesn't have the. It's going to be very soft. So as you can see when you kind of compress it here, it's going to be very conforming, which is correct in the fact that for me, for Camel Trophy, when they did Camel Trophy, they were mainly in the desert, in the woods, and the rainforests and stuff like that. They were aired down tremendously, so that very well fits that style. Now, let's pull out one of these. I'm going to put one of these. So I'm running these GRC heavy new Camel Trophy spec yellow wheels. That's what I'm going to run. So let's see what it does to these tires. So it's still going to keep it pretty narrow. So good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see that. So cool. All right, well. All right, so that sums up what I'm doing as far as the build goes for this particular truck. You guys will see more after this. I'm going to do a build of just the chassis. The body is getting sent off to somebody to get some stuff done to it, as far as he's going to make me a bunch of 3D printed things, Camel Trophy related, because there is nothing out for this body yet, so I'm going to have that done. Mr. Scale Rat's going to do that for me. I'll have the body shipped out to him probably Monday. This is Saturday, so I'm going to try and build this thing today for you guys so you can see it. It'll be a separate video from this. This will be just unboxing, and of course me talking about my background in Rover. So I'm going to try and time lapse the entire build. Probably not going to stop and talk about any of the build until I get done with it, and then we'll go from there. But thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.